Cole said Pat McAfee had the week off, and Cole said they'll be hearing from Cena. Cena and said, given Cena's history, they owe him the benefit of the doubt to explain himself. Video package aired on John Cena turning on Cody Rhodes, which was fantastic for me because I was 3 minutes late. So by the time I turned it on, it was like 3:03, and the package was almost finished, so it was perfect. And then, like I said, this is where the pause came in after the video package aired, and we got another aerial shot. It was just fucking fantastic, man, just so good. And Cena's music hit, and again, I don't know if I completed my thought earlier, but I don't think I ever did. But my point of saying, or what I was supposed to be getting at with another point with them being overseas was I was concerned that they were just gonna be so excited to see John Cena and Seth Rollins and like just stars period, that, and I don't mean that in any disparaging way, but that's what I was saying, like I was mentioning earlier, we just have such an influx of seeing them so frequently over here. It'd be different for us. It'd be the same thing, just vice versa, right? If WWE aired weekly over in Brussels, for instance, and they only came over to the US like once every, what was it, six, I don't even know how long it's been. We would, most likely go crazy too. So that's kind of what I'm getting at with that. But as I was saying, it sounded kind of icky, just like, I don't know, let me just clarify that. But I was worried that they were just gonna just cheer John Cena just blindly, and that goes for everywhere they go on this tour. But nah, man, the exact opposite. They tore in to see it, and better than we could, man. Better than anything that could have happened over here in the States on his first sighting since the turn. And so just fucking shout out again to Brussels, man. Y'all fucking killed it. And y'all just made that segment so much better too. And just seeing John Cena's visual cues, right? How at one point he was leaning on the rope with his massive forearm on the top rope. Dude, just fucking rip. It's insane. And just soaking it all in, and just just like a smug look on his face, and just like I said, soaking it in. It was just, I was just so fucking thrilled, man. I was just so happy to be witnessing this and to be alive when this is happening, right? And to be able to watch just the beauty that was that opening segment. Now, yes, had I maybe projected and wanted a few things to be different, like the music, the gear, and stuff like that, yeah, of course. But I like that he addressed it, and we'll get to that here as we go through what he said. But man, I still loved it. I still loved it. I started listening to the PWTorch show a little bit afterwards. Then I had to take care of some things around the house since, it was about 5 o'clock, 5-ish, 5:30-ish at that point. Had to dogs out and all that, keep on the routine. But yeah, so I don't know the general consensus of the fact that he still visually and audibly, at least that opening, besides the booze, still sounds like John Cena, right? But again, I like that he at least addressed it. And I wouldn't even be surprised if we get some type of variation before or at WrestleMania. And I, for some reason, maybe it's just wishful thinking, I can just picture, if at no other time, just his music hitting at WrestleMania, and then it just morphing into this dark, demented version, right? And Cena coming out looking completely different, and maybe he comes out wearing like the brightest, like just tackiest shirt with a big ass door on the back. Fucking hate that shirt, and he just rips it off, and it's just like whatever his new bad shirt is gonna be. I just, man, there's just so much they could do, and I get maybe they don't have enough time. But seeing how he fucking reacted, sorry, I'm dropping so many F bombs, but just seeing how he reacted today, if I say tonight, I apologize. Was just, the dude went all in, and like Sai had mentioned on Twitter, him and I were chatting a little bit. John Cena went all in, dude, and it was beautiful, because that was one of the things I was, a little concerned on as well, was I didn't want it to be some half-ass thing, like I didn't want him to be like, oh, Cody, like, I'm sorry, but I did what I had to do, like, like, or just kind of like teeter the fence type thing. Nah, this dude fucking laid into us. So, I'm gonna probably keep pausing and as I read through this, just because it was just so well done, in my opinion. I just, again, like, I don't even think like even the little things aesthetically. I don't think it was a negative thing that he didn't change it. And I think it's almost good too, because one of the things we always say about bad guys is they should, first of all, and most importantly, believe what they're saying, because if they don't believe, then we definitely won't believe. Like, but that goes with the baby face as well. And I hate saying those words. That goes with like a good guy as well too, right? But I don't know if it's more importantly for a bad guy, but the bad guy has to believe in what he's saying, regardless of what it is. If it's a crock of shit or the honest truth, and we just don't want to hear it, just like CM Punk, you know what I mean? Like, the dude can be right, but he just makes you feel like, Jesus, man, like, shut the fuck up. We get it. I know you're right, okay, but like, damn, So you start getting frustrated. Like, I never got frustrated, but that was the consensus, back in the AEW, kerfluffle days. But it could be like one of those situations, right? So I was wondering if we were gonna get like, oh, like, Cody, like, I respect you, but I gotta do this, like, I didn't mean it, or just some bullshit, you know what I mean? But nah, homeboy went in, and I was so here for it. At 1.2, he did, excuse me, right at the beginning, he was acting like he was going, well, not acting, but he was going to speak, but the fans were just berating him so much that he put the mic down. And he acted like he was gonna leave, and he came back, and he got me, bro. I was like, you better be fucking kidding me. If this guy comes out here, just soaks it all in, almost like, remember Roman Reigns? What year is that? Was that 2015? 2016? When the Raw after Mania, after he beat Undertaker, and he was like, it's my yard now. He stood up there for, what was it, like 7 minutes, while the fans were just chanting everything very similar to this, like, fuck you, Roman, just all types of crazy shit. And he said one sentence and then left. Very few words and then left. If that's what was gonna be here in this segment with Cena, and he didn't even say anything or said like a very like one or two sentences, I would have been like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. But no, he didn't. He said a lot more than one or two sentences. So they got me. Touche on that one. But getting back to the actual segment itself, um, John Cena came out to his usual entrance song wearing jorts. It's just such a funny word. Jorts and a t-shirt about not seeing him after 2025. The fans exploded into boos and saying John Cena sucks. Then, as Cena stood in the ring, they engaged in a "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chants. They then chanted "You sold out," and it was obviously like the back and forth, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." But man, I would say it was probably like 80-20, maybe 70-30, more for Cena sucks. Um, it felt like just like the good old times, right? Like when you just had that passionate fan base just tearing into Cena. And I'm sorry if you hear snoring. My dog is napping right beside me. She she is a snorer for sure. So I apologize if the mic is picking it up. I have this setting where it's supposed to like mute background noises, so I hope it works. But Cena calmly, stoically said, actually, because we should have known. We should have known. We should have known the promo earlier in the day, because he pretty much, not even pretty much, he told it to us. He posted it on Twitter earlier today, or maybe it was yesterday. Now, time difference is odd, not odd, confusing. He says, when someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. Just letting that sink in for you guys. One more time. When someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. It's very true. Very deep. Very deep. I feel like fortune cookie-esque. And if you are watching on YouTube, shout out to you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Look at this fucking great picture. One in the comments right underneath of it. I may have to use this as the thumbnail for this video, because this is just fucking fantastic. Fuck them kids. And then this look is just prime. So shout out to Crispy Wrestling on Twitter, because fucking fantastic. I love that. But that was how Cena started off the promo, with that quote. When someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. And it was very fitting. Fans continued to chant and taunt at Cena, just fucking raucous crowd, bro. And this is when he was leaning back, I think, at this point with his arm. Either at this point, but this is one of the times he was kind of just like, "Oh, like, what's up? Like, I ain't got to do shit." He said, "Quote, you're making this so easy for me." End quote. You see, for 25 years, I've been the victim of an abusive relationship. And when he said that, I was like, "Ooh, getting heavy now." Okay. He says, "No, no, no, you have lost your time to talk." And at this point, he's yelling. I'm not going to yell because you guys haven't made me mad. He said, fans have abused him and have been hurtful, and all they've ever done is bully him into being their damn puppet and expected him to do it with a smile on his face. Fans started chanting "Fuck you, Cena," which Netflix was late to bleeping, but eventually tried. Oh, just let it go, man. It's Netflix. Come on, it's fucking Netflix, bro. Clearly, I'd be banned. I don't even know how many times I said it at this point. I'm just terrible. Cena went on to say, quote, "I am not a babyface. I am not a heel. I am a human being. And each and every one of you have been awful to me." It was just him playing the victim was just so great, dude. Just so great. He said it's been the same noise for 25 years. He said fans let him know when he first arrived that they have hated him. He said he changed himself so fans would like him, and it worked for a second, but it wasn't enough. He said he worked hard and started to win and win and win. I won a lot and you hated it. Enter Super Cena. Fucking just, oh, cringe, man. If y'all weren't around, depending on your age, to experience Super Cena in its prime, oh my god, that was just next level. Just everyone and their mother, literally. I think even, oh my god, I want to say Luchasaurus, but what was Tyrus's Funkasaurus? Was it his mother? Someone's mother, I think, was even on TV at some point. I know Shelton Benjamin's mom was, but that wasn't Shelton Benjamin's. I think someone's mama was on there. Just fucking insane, dude. Like, I'm sure she would have lost to Super Cena if she had a match. He said, "I won a lot and you hated it." Facts, bro. He said he spent the next 10 years of his life trying to give everything he could, but it still wasn't enough. Fans chanted again to shut the fuck up. No bleeping on that one, which is great. He said in his final moments he could have walked away. Fans started cheering him. He said the fans are terrible, going from telling him to shut the F up, which I wish he would have said fuck. Like, I know it's too much to go from, like kissing babies to saying, shut the fuck up the next, time we see. But man, like, it just would have been great. He says, again, just backtracking, he said fans are terrible, going from telling him to shut the F up to cheering when he said that he was going to walk away. He said fans ruined his retirement tour. Quote, "I tried one last time to get along with you guys and you ruined it, just like you ruined everything." End quote. He said it's never enough for them. Fans started singing the "Na Na Na Goodbye" song, which is just fantastic. I love that song is universal. Whoever made that song, like, just, you did great work. He held up the mic. He then told fans they should be ashamed of themselves for taking and only caring about themselves. Which, like, I get it, but I've heard even just a few interviews that I've heard from John Cena, multiple people asking him how he's doing. So that's not entirely accurate, my friend. He says fans just wanted to know what they were going to get from him. Quote, "You get what you have earned, and what you have earned is nothing." He said, "You don't get new clothes or new music." He said, "Their time is up and his time is now." Quote, "The only thing you get is to take a long look in the mirror to see how awful each and every one of you have been for 25 years to me." End quote. And then aloud, we want Cody chant rang out, which is getting to be the great timing. He said, "You're chanting for Cody? Of course, your brand new shiny toy," which is great. I love that they're starting to acknowledge the comparisons, and I love that Cena's going to be on the opposite side of it now going forward. It's just going to be great. On the opposite side of it, but acknowledging that he was the coin, just it's just fascinating. He said they're about to put him out to the pasture. He said they're proving his point that they're awful people. He said it's every person in the room. He said he can identify the "Let's Go Cena" people in the crowd. He said they say they support him. He said the Cena sucks jagoffs have also proven themselves to be awful people. He said that "Let's Go Cena" people are just as awful. You claim to support me. What have you ever done to support me, huh? Bought a shit ton of your merch. Gone to see your movies. I don't know, man. And I know this is his character, right? I know. But, like, that's what I'm like, a couple, like, when he was saying, I was just like, I mean, they've done a lot for you, bro. Actually, like, those people have stuck with you through thick and thin. Like, when the I'm not gonna say it obviously wasn't the majority, but the more vocal portion of the crowd were booing and just saying Cena sucks, like going to the shows with I hate Cena, we hate Cena, custom made t-shirts and shit. Those people who loved Cena still had his back, man. So that's why I'm like, come on, man. Like they had your back, bro. They were there for you. But I get what he's saying, because in some ways they weren't, though. You know, like they want what they want from Cena. They want the version of John Cena that they want, and not who John Cena truly is, apparently. So that's what we seem to be learning here. Um, sorry, my little girl's falling asleep again. But he said, "Let's go Cena people are just as awful. You claim to support me. What have you ever done to support me, huh?" He said, "All they ever do is steal from him, including his time and his personal moments. Quote, you have made me a freaking toy. I am not an object to you." Which is just great. And he said, or the fans started chanting, "Shut the fuck up" again. He said, "Fans aren't comfortable." This episode is probably like the highest for the fucks. I'm sorry. He said fans aren't comfortable leaning into an awkward conversation. He said he lives hustle, loyalty, and respect every day. He said they think they can buy the words never give up, but he embodies it. You use me as an excuse for your pathetic failure of your life, because all you've ever done for 25 years is sit on your ass and watch me be great. No more. Just freaking great. He said everybody is in a toxic, dysfunctional relationship. He pointed at a kid in the crowd and said he means him. He said he's breaking up with all of them. Whether you like me or not, you're dumped. I don't care about you. You don't matter to me. He said they know he's right and they know they are wrong. And then that's when Cody came out. And bro, it was just fucking fantastic, man. Again, like I don't even know if I would change anything about it. You know, I said what I said earlier about the clothes, but I love, like I said also, that he ended up addressing it. I love the fact that yes, is still like he's doing exactly what he said, right? He is not changing his attire and his music because that's what I would want. You know, me being the fan booing him right now, he's not going to cater to me. He's not going to feed into that. So trying not to say the F word again. I'm trying to limit it, but screw off, man. Like, ugh, damn it. You know, and that's the point. That's the point. But even from the jump, man, like even when his music hit, he still had the little towel, but he was just kind of like holding it, you know, like to the side, just kind of like, and he just walked to the ring, like Wade said, stoically. Very, very fitting word. Just stoically walk to the ring. No smile, no nothing, no sense of urgency. Just fucking beautiful. And when Cody's music hit, dude, the reaction the fans had, my first thought with that was, yo, like Cody's a damn star, dude. He is that guy. And I said it in whatever stream, whether it's here over at One True Sport, where I'm live every Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. Cheap plug. But the fact that John Cena is even able to do this right now, and again, that it's, or not again, but again, because I've said it before, but not again if you didn't hear me prior. But also the fact that it's not against Roman Reigns, I think it's super telling to the star power that Cody Rhodes has. And he wants to go around saying, you know, he's the quarterback and that's what he always wanted to be, blah, blah, blah. That's the truth, man. That's the truth. The fact that Cena was able to turn heel on Cody Rhodes and for it to be as powerful as it has been. And Cody's two things. John Cena's reaction, first of all, right? But Cody's reaction too, I think solidified John Cena's heel turn, right? But it solidified Cody's a made man. And it's just so cool. And I don't know why, like I feel proud of him, right? Because I don't know the dude, right? But I remember being at this Ring of Honor. It was the Ring of Honor show right before All In, and man, like I just remember hearing that dude. I don't remember. There's like 5-6 minutes that it was him, possibly the Young Bucks, and a few other people. Maybe I'll have to go back and see if I can find the video. But just hearing the passion, man, and just the dude makes you believe in him, and he really connects with you, and it's like fuck, man, like, yeah, I'm on the journey with you. And I remember I was a fan of his going, and I'm not going to act like I was the biggest fan of his, right? But I always respected him. I always got a kick out of his characters, right? Especially, like, going back to the mustache Cody, and the paper bags and everything. I just thought that was so creative and just so fun and just so different. The fact that like these fans paying good money for ringside seats are putting paper bags over their heads to go along with it. Oh, it was just great. Uh, and the fact that when he was the IC champion, he brought it back to the classic version with the white strap. Just little things like that. He stood out to me. You know what I mean? And just the list, right? Like everyone remembers the list with the beautiful handwriting, the well manicured nails, just the presentation. And I love the fact too that he's always been really this version of himself. Yeah, at one point he was a bad guy, right? And kind of went down like a little bit of a darker path. But since he left, he was always in a suit. No matter, I'll never forget. Sorry, my dog is snoring. I'm trying to wake her up a little bit so you guys can't hear it. But I'll never forget, like, thinking when I not came across, but when I would see those pictures posted on Twitter of them at Cracker Barrel all in the rocking chairs, and everyone's, not chilling, but in, either like gym pants or like gym clothes, like basketball shorts, tank top type shit. Dude is in a suit. So the fact that he's always been that version going into AEW and then going back to WWE, it just really made it that much easier for you to latch on to him and be like, yeah, dude, like I'm rocking with you, man. Like, yeah, like you and I probably wouldn't agree on 100% of things, you know what I mean? But even then, like he's a really like he's not your stereotypical like blonde hair, not even that he's a natural blonde, but like blonde hair, blue eyes dude, you know what I mean? Like he's got some experience to him, you know what I mean? And you just get that vibe that he's not some like stuck up asshole, like he's not what you would kind of judge him as. If you saw him walking down the street and you had no idea who he was, you would see some, especially if it was like, let's say like a Sunday morning, maybe not Sunday morning because you keep going to church, but like if it's like a Saturday morning at like 6:30, 7 a.m., and you're, like if you're me, like you look like a hot mess going to Starbucks trying to get your coffee, like, hair in a messy ass bun, just looking real not great, you know what I mean? And then you're waiting for your coffee and you see this dude just sharply, hair slicked back, button up suit, all that shit. And you're just like, fuck, man, it's Saturday morning. Just relax. Just relax, it just kind of makes you like want to like duck down a bit. Which is why they say you should always be prepared. You never know who you're running into. But damn, sometimes I'm just tired. You know what I mean? But you just get that vibe. You just get like that's who he is. Like, and I'm sure he does maybe sleep in something that's not a suit. But I don't know. Like I don't know what else besides the few times we've seen him on TV too, where he has like that tracksuit on. But it's just that's who he is, and that's what makes it so much easier to ride along this journey with him and be so invested in him because he doesn't feel fake and he doesn't feel forced. And that's I think the big difference between him and C. But yeah, man, so that's why I've always said like the type of character that Cody Rhodes is just so special. And that's why when they were teasing him selling his soul to The Rock, I was like, God, like 100% he should sell his soul, quote unquote, one day, jump into the dark side, but not anytime soon. Like really run this wave and just ride this storm with this version of Cody Rhodes as long as you can. Will it last as long as Cena? I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe he'll end up being the next John Cena. But to the fact or to the point that people don't get tired of him and he doesn't feel forced and we don't always go into a match like, oh, here comes Super Cody. You know what I mean? Like, if we get to that point, then yeah, like, we'll, judging and, talk about it then. But right now, it just isn't that time. And I just think it's just so dope. What I was going to say what they've done with Cody, but it isn't even what they've done with Cody as much as what Cody did for himself and created himself. And like like kind of like the vibe that his interest theme goes towards, that he created his kingdom, you know what I mean? And almost forced WWE, not even almost, he forced WWE to take him as he was. And I just think that's so dope, man. Like, that's why, yeah, Punk is my guy, but it's like 1A, 1B type day with him and Cody. Just because it feels good to be able to kind of follow along someone's journey and be invested in them and to know they're, I mean, everyone has skeletons, right? But to know for the most part they're not really a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And their story's cool, and yes, like he could have taken the easy route, but he bet on himself. Like I just said, you know, we all know the story at this point. He finished it. So I'm not gonna rehash it, but yeah, man, it's just seeing, just witnessing the reactions between John Cena and knowing like the symbolism behind it and what this really means and the impact that it has had already and is most likely going to continue to carry, and seeing Cody come out and just the roar and just the love and the chanting for Cody prior to him even being out there, like it was set up perfectly. Like I don't think if you're Triple H back there, if you're, you know, like the brass back there, like it could have gone any better for you. So man, like it's just, I loved it. I fucking loved everything about it. Sorry guys about all the F bombs. I don't know what's into me today, but yeah, I don't know. But continuing on, Cody slapped hands and smiled on his way to the ring. He entered the ring 24 minutes into the hour, which is just wild. Fans loudly sang Cody's name, and Cody stared down Cena. Then a Cody chant rang out as he was able to speak, or I'm sorry, about to speak. He says, quote, "I think everyone was willing to hear you out, even myself," end quote. And it was very somber, and I loved it. I loved Cody's visuals coming out too. Like he wasn't just all smiles. Like yeah, like he acknowledged the fans there, but it wasn't as extra as he normally is. So I love that too. And I love they were like singing his name like Cody. I don't know, I'm not gonna sing it. Go back and listen to it. uh, and I like that first sentence too, with him saying, "I think everyone was willing to hear you out, even myself." And I get why maybe some people would have been like, "Yo, he should have just tackled him, you know, just should have gone in there and just started swinging," with how disrespectful Cena was and how he embarrassed you, right? If you're Cody Rhodes at the Elimination Chamber. But that's not Cody's character, you know? I mean, Christ, like The Rock said disparaging things about Mama Rhodes and did crazy shit last year, and they became great friends after that. And I'm not gonna get into that, but Cody is just not that guy, you know. Like he's not a pushover, but he is that character. Look at him and Roman Reigns, for instance, right? Like he went through shit in hell with Roman, the bloodline, and all that. But when Roman needed someone, Cody was that guy. Cody stood up for Roman. So especially for a hero figure and a role model figure to Cody Rhodes and someone that he's looked up to, of course he's gonna want to hear him out. So to me, that wasn't that surprising at all, really. Now, if we go on between now and WrestleMania and nothing ever happens, physicality wise, then I may be a little bit more surprised, depending on how each week progresses, because we will be seeing these two men in the same ring next week as well on Monday Night Raw, which will be airing at 4 p.m. I hope Wayne has it here in his report where it's airing from, but it is obviously still an international crowd, so that'd be dope. But yeah, so to me, I didn't even like that wasn't really shocking to me at all, or like that I didn't really think about that, you know, watching it live, to be honest with you. Like I fully expected Cody to let John Cena say what he wants to say, because that was the whole point, right? Like Cody wants to know why. He gave him his time to talk, and now maybe he didn't get the answer that he wanted to hear, you know? So Cody came out to acknowledge that. So to me it kind of made sense, but I get to why people would be like, "Yo, he should have just gone in there and tackled homeboy," because I totally get that too. But my opinion, that's just not the type of character that this version of Cody Rhodes is. Uh, where was I? He said, from what he understands, he thinks the fans have given him his worst, but they have also given him his best. They did that because you were special, because you could take it, because you could carry it. He said, Cena said, "Listen, kid," and Cody interrupted and said, "Enough." And he yelled at him. He said, "And it's certainly not kid. is WWE champion. Which, fuck yeah, dude. Sorry. Own that shit though. You're the quarterback, man. He looked at Cena and said, "Who the hell are you?" He said he was excited about going face to face for weeks with John Cena, and instead I get this. He said this is not, or this better not show up at WrestleMania, because if it does, I'll run it over and I'll run it out because I already took its best shot and it wasn't enough. So pretty much saying this version of John Cena is trash. And he called him a whiny bitch. He said he wants to wrestle John Cena at WrestleMania, not this whiny bitch. And he threw the mic towards John Cena and left the ring. And the fans were in full support of him. And then that was the end of the segment. John Cena stood there in the middle of the ring and just kind of soaked in the reaction for maybe another not even minute, and then ended up leaving. And guys, I was just so impressed by the presentation. Again, yes, I've already said the aesthetics, but I'm not even gonna harp on that. If we never get John Cena out of jorts, if he's always wearing them fucking terrible t-shirts with the door on the back, okay, it's fine. It's a hill I'm not going to even want to start walking up if we get this version of Cena going into WrestleMania. And I hope continuing after that too. Again, like I said somewhere, I hope it's not one of those, when I was, representing like him being, or not half-assing this, of course, but just kind of bullshitting or like fake turning or like half turning, you know what I mean? And not fully embracing it. I don't want it to be one of those things where he battles Cody Rhodes and Cody beats him at WrestleMania, but he gains Cody's respect and then they shake hands, and then the next Monday on Raw, John Cena comes out and he's apologizing to us and everything is kumbaya and everything is great going into SummerSlam. And I just don't want that, like you pulled the trigger now, because it's, my thing is like you should run this all the way into SummerSlam if you can, if not longer, because he's done in the end of December. So even if you don't turn him back, if he ends his career as a bad guy, like imagine if this version of Cena ends up winning the championship, if he doesn't beat Cody at WrestleMania, but he ends up beating Cody at SummerSlam, for instance, just spitballing or whatever. If there's another big show in between, like I don't see them wanting to do that at like a Saudi Arabia show or a Money in the Bank show. Like I would imagine if you're not going to do it at WrestleMania, you would do it at a SummerSlam. But even then, man, I think if you're going to pull the trigger on 17, like they're going to want to do it at Mania. But if not, if Cody retains, then I could see Cena winning possibly at SummerSlam and then potentially going throughout the rest of the year as the champion. Just imagine, like, this version of Cena, what's best for business, him being the champion and retiring on top as the one and done, like not longest reigning, but the champion, right? Like the GOAT, as Michael Cole would say, like the most winningest champion, right? Like not really when because it's Ric Flair had more championship reigns, but WWE acknowledges the 16, so we go with 16. But that would be kind of shitty, you know what I mean? As as the character of John Cena, right? To end up retiring with the championship, and then what do we, what happens after that on starting January 1st? So just kind of spitballing, like I said. But the point of that was if you were to even go down that route, if people were hating John Cena as much as they were in Brussels, right? On December 31st, he retires with the championship, everything I just said. The second he comes back, he's going to be massively cheered. You know what I mean? And it can't be something where he comes back and like nothing ever happened, but he can excuse it, right? Or he can justify it, and he'll come up with something, and he'll apologize, and he'll say something, and whatever, everything will be great going forward into his Hall of Fame ceremony. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be worried about that, but man, like, just bravo, and thank you, Cena, man, because I just that segment, what was it, 30 minutes ended up being or whatever, and just the fact that he was willing to pull the trigger and is willing to pull the trigger and not just coast for this last year just shows what kind of dude he is. So appreciate that, and I'm just so, like I said earlier, I'm just so happy we're here and along for the ride.